Namaskar. Greetings to all of you. It is indeed a great privilege to be here in front of this such an august audience and to speak about a topic which is very close to my heart and obviously close to the hearts of all of you sitting here. In India, we have the tradition of referring to this planet, our blue planet, as Dharti Mata or Mother Earth. Because, like the human mother, this earth is the paragon of forgiveness, compassion, and love. Mother Earth feeds us, clothes us, nurtures us, and when it is time to move on, it receives our bodies back into her lap. So right from birth to death, we are in the lap of this Mother Earth. But how are we treating our beloved Mother Earth? You know, in the last few decades, especially after the 1950s, 60s, there is a growing concern that Mother Earth, in spite of all her compassion and forgiveness, is losing her patience with her human children. And through climatic catastrophes, through environmental cataclysms, our Mother Earth is giving us hints that, my children, you better mend your ways. Otherwise, soon, my vast bosom will not be able to sustain you. You have denuded my forests. You have polluted my rivers. Even my vast oceans have not been spared. And my air has become poison. So this is the plea which we need to listen to and respond. We, all of us here, have heard this call in the depths of our hearts and have responded to it in our own way. So today, I will tell you my take on this. So you see, man has been on this planet for more than 2 million years. But only after 1800s, when industrialization started, has he been impacting the earth in an irreversible way. Earth has tremendous vitality. It has tremendous powers of rejuvenation. So right from the beginning of his existence, man has been impacting his surroundings, but they were an impact which was reversible. But from 1800 onwards, gradually, he has been impacting this environment irreversibly. And that pace of irreversibility has been increasing as his technology has been advancing. And since 1950s and onwards, this rate of irreversibility is in direct proportion to his technological progress. The more he is progressing technologically, the more and faster is he impacting his surroundings irreversibly. And when I say irreversibly, even the powerful regenerative forces of Earth are not able to match pace with man's destructive speed. So how do we, and what is the reason for this? The reason for this is man's exploitative mindset. You know, our relationship with Mother Earth is not like that of a loving son and mother. It is like that of an ungrateful son towards his mother. like a master towards his slave, or like an ungrateful friend towards his benevolent benefactor. A small story. Most of you must have heard it. It's about a person way back when Lord Buddha was incarnate on earth as a bodhisattva. This man was living in the city of Benares. One day he wandered into the forest where this divine elephant was residing, and he lost his way. So when he was crying for help, this divine elephant heard him and asked him why you are crying, and he said, I lost my way. So the elephant said, don't worry, I will take you back to the edge of the city and leave you there. And while they were traveling back, they developed a friendship, and they told each other, okay, we will remain friends and we will help each other when we are in need. After he went back to his life, he found out that the tusks from living elephants fetch a good price. And he remembered that his elephant friend had long and beautiful tusks. There was no need in his life for tusks, but there was greed. So he went back to the forest and made some excuse and said, I'm very poor, I need money. You have these tusks, you don't use these tusks for eating or chewing. They are only adorning your face. Why don't you give a small portion of those tusks to me so that I can sell them and make some money? So that large-hearted elephant sat down, this man climbed down on his head and sawed off small portions of tusks, went back, sold them, made money, lived happily, went through all that money, again came back, asked for more of the tusk, again went back, and the elephant kept on giving. And at last, all the tusks outside were over, only the roots were left. And even then he went back and said, please, I still need a little bit more of your tusk. And the elephant said, my friend, I am ready to give you, but only the roots are left. And if you pull out the roots, I may bleed to death. Do you still want those roots? And he said, yes, I need them. And the elephant let him have the last portions of those tusks. And when he pulled those tusks out and left his friend bleeding and dying, even Mother Earth could not watch that horrendous scene of ungratefulness. Mother Earth opened up, and the man was swallowed by earth and went to his tomb. So this is an apocryphal story, but very pertinent to today's situation. We are digging deep into the bowels of earth, deep into ocean, and removing the last bits of vitality from it. So, this is the exploitative mindset. And what happens because of exploitative mindset? Two things happen. One, we deplete the human resources, the environmental resources. And second, we pollute the air, water, oceans, everything. So talking about this, so there was this biologist in LA Times of 1990, he said this: our technological civilization has not adapted to the needs of survival. There is something radically wrong with the way we are living today. The sort of society we are building with the aid of science and technology has self-destructive features built into it. And he goes on to say that this is a holocaust of nature. Every year, man annihilates at least 1,000 species, 1,000 denizens who are living with him, sharing this planet. So, these are the results of exploitative mindset I just spoke about. Now, there is an opposite mindset, and I'm sure that all of us have this mindset which we need to develop, and that I call as the spiritual or nurturing mindset. Many of you may know the mantras of this mindset because this is part of the sustainable planet mantras. Refuse what? Harmful innovations, even if they are profitable, if they give you profit. Don't accept them. Reduce. What do you reduce? Hoarding possessions. And this is in tune with what our Rishi's teach. Reduce your needs, reuse and recycle, that we are all aware of, and renew, water harvesting and reforestation. So this is the spiritual mindset we need to develop in our lives. And how do we do this? There is only one way, by going within. Today, what we say, there is I would say in our body, there is an energy crisis. And what is this energy crisis? Most of our energies are flowing outwards into our senses, into our restless mind, into our intellect. And that what has caused our problem. So we need to change our way of thinking, because the way we are thinking now, it cannot solve our problems. And Einstein said, that we cannot solve a problem thinking in that same way that created the problem in the first place. And the yogis say even further, we cannot solve a problem from the same level of consciousness that created it. So this material consciousness created this problem. So we have to change that mindset. We have to change that material consciousness and bring in spiritual consciousness, which is that nurturing consciousness. So how do we change that? By meditation. By changing the flow of energy. By solving the energy crisis within our body. Very briefly, the energy crisis is normally a ordinary man spends all his time, all his attention, all his energy on his senses, on these five senses, and on his intellect, which is very shallow. But by meditation, by yoga, when you reverse the flow of energy and take that energy from the senses and the body and take it into the spine, where the higher centers of consciousness exist, where your center of joy, center of love, they are already there. And when those centers awaken, then all the other qualities, the spiritual qualities, manifest in our hearts, in our lives. Qualities like love, joy, peace, compassion. So this is the energy crisis. All the energy is flowing out into the world. We need to reverse that and take it into our heart chakra, into our mind, into the cerebral chakras. That when those higher centers of consciousness ignite, then we realize that all happiness is within, as the Giri Upanishad tells us. From joy I have come, for joy I live, and in that sacred joy I shall meditate. All the joy, all the satisfaction that we see outside is already within us. So we need to go within. And when we do that, in addition to experiencing the joy, which automatically leads to reduction of our wants, reduction of our desires, in addition to that, we develop a singular faculty, the faculty of intuition. And through that faculty of intuition, which is the wellspring of all inventions, of all world-shaking thoughts and ideas, through that intuition, we can look at these environmental global problems holistically and try to solve them. So these problems of climate change, sustainable planet, world hunger, they are not simple problems, they are extremely complex. And we need to look at that problem holistically if you want to find a solution. And Paramahansa Yogananda ji, my guru, he said, there is a power that will light your way to health, happiness, peace and success if you will but turn towards that light. And that method of turning towards that inner light is meditation. And when we do that, we will get that power to change our planet, to change our mindset from an exploitative mindset to a nurturing mindset. We will have the power to change the planet one soul at a time. Thank you.